just been sent this cookery for a review. I won't say who the manufacturer is or who sent it to me. But the first thing I'd like to say is, in fact, I'd like you to listen to, is that. That is pretty poor. That's the first thing I'm going to say. The second thing is the frogs here are all but useless, so a complete waste of time. Jack Mac and Carder, the usual piddly little things, and they might as well not bother with those, to be perfectly honest. A very bulky scabbard, so you're going to be using up a lot of room when you carry it. And as you know, I'm not a great fan of full tang, but when they're done properly, I think they are a good cookery, so don't get me wrong there. So this is a full tang. It has a 25.8 centimetre long blade, and it weighs a staggering 637 grams. Absolutely shocking. And also already, I mean, if this was like 100 years old or something like that, you would expect perhaps the wood to shrink a bit. But already it's hard to tell obviously on this, but the wood doesn't match up to the tang. And it's very sharp. You use this a few times and it's going to rip your hands to pieces. Absolutely shocking, that is. So the finish on it is really bad. I don't, obviously for general use, the satin finish is fine. But obviously not for quarter garden, things like that. It's terrible balance on it. I mean, after a few minutes of using this, not only will your hands be ripped to shreds because of the way the slabs have been put on and the fact that the metal is very sharp as it protrudes from the wooden slabs, but because of the balance, it's going to knacker you out. It's going to completely wear out your wrist. 637 grams for a 25.8 centimetre long blade is ridiculous, it must be said. And, it's a pretty poor shape. Used a lot, so 30 centimetres is not bad at all. I quite like it. In fact, I was using it in the garden the other day to chop down ivy and stuff like that as well. But this is 30 centimetres long, and it weighs only 488 grams. So you could use this pretty much all day. I mean, I'd use it for a good couple of hours, chopping away in the garden, and absolutely no problem whatsoever. You compare these two, you can see there's a massive difference, and that's 637 grams. It's an absolute nonsense, to be perfectly honest with you. Whereas you've got something like this with a nicely done handle, horn handle, could be wood of course. It's with a stick tang which is peened over. Perfectly strong enough for general use. I mean, after all, I've had British service issues dating from the 60s, still with their original handle on it, no cracks whatsoever. This, on the other hand, if I was given this, as something to use, I wouldn't use it, that is for sure. I definitely wouldn't use it. I'd say thank you very much, and I'd put it in some corner of the house and forget all about it, to be perfectly honest. I think something like this is far superior. And also look at the frogs as well. The frogs on this are far superior, much superior, as are the Carder and Chapmacks. They're actually quite usable. All in all, I think for what this is intended for, it's shocking, a shocking cookery to be given and to have to use. I really do. But something like this, 30 centimetres long, 488 grams, stick tang handle, peened at the back with a diamond keeper there. Not bad at all, I must say. Anyway, the next bit of the video, we'll be comparing the original full tang Mark II cookery to this particular one that I've been sent as well. So the original full tang cookery that was issued to the British Indian Army is the Mark II. And they started to be issued in 1915 and were issued right through World War II to, I think, 1944. Now this one here has a 33.5 centimetre long blade and weighs 645 grams. And it's, you know, it's a good cookery to use. There's no doubt about that. The good thing as well is that the tang isn't particularly thick. But like all of these full tang cookery, the wood does shrink a little bit. And although it's shrunk, at least the metal on this isn't sharp. It's obviously been finished off much better than the previous full tang cookery that I was showing you. So it's not too bad on the hands. It's not ideal. I mean, it will make the hand sore after a while. But yeah, it's much, much, much better made than the other one I showed you. In fact, just for comparison, here you go. I mean, you know, which cookery would you rather have? And this one is 645 grams, 33.5 centimetre long blade. This one is 25.8 centimetres long and weighs a horrendous 637 grams for its blade length. Absolutely shocking. Yeah, so these Mark II were a lot better made, quite usable, because as a general rule in World War One, they didn't have the tangs too thick. And some of the cookery, the Mark II cookery in World War II were, you know, not too wonderful on the size of the tang. But as a general rule, they were pretty good, it must be said. In fact, just give me a second or two and I'll go and get a World War II one to show you the tang on that as well. So here's the World War II Mark II. Notice the ring has gone by now. And you can see the tang width through the handle isn't that bad at all. So the weight transference isn't so bad as it is with the cookery made with the thicker tangs. Like that previous cookery I was showing you, that horrible 25.8 centimetre long, 637 gram cookery. And again, this World War II one handles quite well. It's a little bit heavier than the World War I one, but still a very useful cookery. Although I wouldn't like to be using it all day in the jungle or something like that, for example. But yeah, it just shows the difference in quality between the Mark II of yesteryear to this full tang variant now. Now comparing this to a stick tang peened from World War One, a first six Gurkha Rifles cookery that was picked up in Gallipoli. I thought it'd be quite interesting to show the difference there. Now this one has a weight of 577 grams and a blade length of 33 centimetres, and it's beautiful to handle. You know, I much prefer these peen stick tangs to full tang. That's my personal opinion, and that's just through my own personal experience of using cookery over the years. It's much, much nicer to use in the hand, and you can use this pretty much all day with that blade length and that weight. Beautiful cookery as well. It's absolutely lovely. Lots of history behind this one. Possibly used at Sari Bear, who knows? It's a fabulous cookery. And you know, when you compare that to the other one, again you can see it's a much, much nicer cookery all in all. And I really do think if you're going to use a cookery long term, you're better off with stick peen tang. Just a lovely, lovely cookery, you know. I'd love to see the Gurkhas of today, for example, issued with something like this. Absolutely awesome cookery, love it. So that was a little comparison with one World War I one, and I'll do another one in a second. So I'm going to do another comparison with a World War I cookery. So I've done a video of this one recently. It's got a service number on it of 1578. It's 35 centimetres long and it weighs 638 grams. So it's only 1 gram more than the one I originally showed you, the 25.8 centimetre long, 630 7-gram cookery, and you know, you compare the look of the two. And this one was issued in World War One, potentially to the 2nd 11th Gurkha Rifles, and what a fantastic cookery. It survived all those years. It's peened, stick tang with a diamond keeper, so we think it was sort of mid to late World War One. It's just a fabulous cookery, and you compare that to that monstrosity of a cookery. I mean, there is absolutely no comparison whatsoever. So if you're going to use one, you know, I really do recommend you go for peened stick tang if it's going to be used for a long time. They're just fabulous cookery, and these World War One pieces are just absolutely awesome, it must be said. I'm just going to do a comparison with a very famous World War II cookery. It's probably the most photographed cookery of World War II. It's a cookery of the 1st and 2nd Gurkha Rifles, and of course Lal Bahadur Thapa VC was using one of these cookery when he won his Victoria Cross, and that great cookery. I mean, at 32.5 centimetres with a 577-gram blade, and it just whizzes around. You could use this all day, and I think, you know, for what most people want for general usage, this is absolutely ideal. You know, you compare that again to the cookery that I was showing you earlier on, the 25.8 centimetre long cookery with a weight of 637 grams, and this one here is what, 32.5 centimetres and weighs 577 grams. And you know, the Gurkhas, people like that and myself, because I like using this one as well, I find them very easy to use. You can use it all day without any problem, do most of the tasks that are required of a small axe, little hand axe, or you know, the old Indian tomahawk, and it's a great sidearm backup as well. So again, you know, if you're going to have a cookery and you're going to be using it all day kind of thing, and chopping through the jungle or whatever, then I really do think that these stick tang peened with a diamond butt cap, or keeper, sorry, or whatever, as long as they're peened over, you know, are excellent cookery. And I really think that for modern use, the ideal cookery to have. Anyway, that's the last of the videos. Sorry if I bored you to death, but I hope you did enjoy it. Take care of yourselves, and I shall see you soon, no doubt.